Hey everyone, it's Denise Brown. This is the third part of a three-part series on why it might be time for you to think through launching a consulting and caregiving business for family caregivers. In the first part, I talked about the changes that are happening in our space in the market. The second part, I talked about why family caregivers need you. Now I'd like to just talk a little bit about why my program, the Certified Caregiving Consultant program, might be right for you. A couple days ago on LinkedIn is really my go-to for social media. I posted this graphic, which is about the 19 caregiving systems. Initially, when I started counting how many systems we manage, navigate, and advocate within, it was 17. I thought 17, I landed on that. I mean, it took me a little bit. Started with 10. Actually, I probably started with 5, and I was like, that's not enough. Then 10, then 13, 15, and then 17. And then I always talked about the family caregivers, the 18th system. And the family caregiver is the only system that interacts with all the other systems. And then I was out to dinner with a certified caregiving consultant a couple weeks ago. We were talking about the systems. And she started talking about the one that was most stressful to her and for her, and that was home. And I thought, oh, I missed home. Don't know how I missed home. I moved my parents 3 times within an 18-month period. I moved my dad a week after my mom died. I mean, home was just a huge piece of managing caregiving. You know that. You know that. I think it was just so stressful. And maybe it was so traumatic for me, the whole home piece, that I just forgot about it as a system. But it's a huge system that we manage. This is just one of the concepts that I've developed that really helped explain why the caregiving experience is so complicated and complex. As a result of sharing this, I just wanted to tell you about a couple comments on the post. And this is one of them. When we help family caregivers through our certified caregiving consultant training, we help all family caregivers. In the first part, I talked about how the very limited amount that is available to support family caregivers through the federal government is specific to a certain population of family caregivers. We help all family caregivers. And that graphic spoke to someone who cared for a child. I think it's also helpful to know that the content that I talk about, specifically in the Certified Caregiving Consultant training, is content that people crave. So much that we read about in the press about the caregiving experience is very surface. It does not speak to how complicated and complex it is. We do. And because of that, people follow me. People follow our certified caregiving consultants. And then just a family caregiver said, you know what? I gained a new perspective because of thinking this out, because of your post. That's what we want to do. We want to deepen the family caregiver's insight about their experiences and about the family caregiver experience because it helps us when we understand it better. This particular family caregiver talked about feeling adrift without her own home, without insights and perspectives and wisdom about the caregiving experience. We also are adrift. And I teach that in the training. So the CCCs bring that out into the work with their clients, their posts on social media, the workshops that they lead. We understand that family caregivers want to talk deeply about this experience because it is impacting them deeply, and we know how to do that. Okay. And then just a couple other comments. People appreciated that insight about the 19 caregiving systems. I was at a conference this past fall, and it was for actually human resource managers. It was about employee benefits. And I attended a workshop where an organization was creating a particular type of support that's available for employees. And it was all based on this idea that peers are the best kind of support. It was an alternative to always looking at therapists and counselors as the only resource available to an employee who's going through a difficult time. And I thought, oh my gosh, someone is doing what I've already been doing. Oh my gosh, because this certified caregiving consultant is all around peer support. You take your lived experience, complement it with the training I've developed, and then you go out to support others who are going through what you went through, and you understand it because you lived it. Anyway, so in this workshop, I was like, oh my gosh, wow. Like, wow. There was a physician in the workshop, and he raised his hand and stood up and said, you know what? It's time for a non-clinical support revolution. I thought, oh, it is. It is time for a non-clinical support revolution. It is. It is. And family caregivers need support from someone who gets it, who speaks their language, who understands their challenges, who doesn't should on them. When we're in a caregiving experience, people should on us all the time. You know what you should do? You should get help. Okay, well, why don't you help me? Oh, no, I can't help. Yeah. I started actually providing peer support through an online community I launched in 1996, and I managed this community for 24 years. And when I started adding in training programs in 2016, it became very difficult for me to do everything. So I sold the community and retained the training programs. I've since added a community because I have figured out a better way to run a community than the way I was doing it before. Part of it is the way I was running the community before was based on what was available with technology. And what was available was very clunky and very time consuming and very fragile. Oh, I spent a lot of time managing the technology, and I'm not a technologist. Now there's great technology that I don't even think twice about, never think twice about it. So it's been easier for me to actually host a community. Okay, so we actually launched a peer support training program in 2016, which is our Certified Caregiving Consultant training. Just a little bit more about me. So I started working with family caregivers actually in 1990, started an online community in 1996. I also have a personal caregiving experience. I helped my dad for just about 19 years. He had bladder and skin cancer, and then he had surgery to remove his bladder and his kidney and his ureter because his cancer had spread. And then I cared for my mom who had Parkinson's disease. I cared for both of them at the same time for 7 years. My mom died in 2022. My dad died in 2023. So here's why it's a good time now to really look at our certified caregiving consultant training. We're going to do something a little unusual for those of you who enroll on or before February 24th. I am going to be providing extra support to ensure you complete the course and provide an extra opportunity so that you can connect with potential clients after you become certified. The course is 100 hours. It's actually 101 hours, but it's 100 hours. And when I first launched this program in 2016, it was 16 hours. But I kept working at it. I kept working at it. I kept listening to training program participants and what they needed and what they wanted. And I kept adding and adding and adding, really thinking it through. And I also added more hands-on assignments. And what I mean by that is our training program participants start really working with family caregivers starting in Module 4, where you start to actually practice consulting sessions and you continue practicing one-on-one sessions and group coaching throughout the training program. I learned this because I would suggest to training program participants at the end of the program, here's what you can do now. And they never did because I think they were so afraid to do it, right? So I added it in to the training program as part of the certification requirements. You have to start working with family caregivers during the program. It's like our clinical piece, so to speak, where you really start to do the work. And you do the work during the training program so that you continue the work afterward. One of our recent graduates had a few assignments she had to complete that made her nervous. And she did them anyway because she had to, because it was part of the certification requirements. And so when she was nervous, she would reach out to me and I would say, here's what you can do. And she was like, okay. So she did it. And then after the program, she was like, oh my gosh, I get why you made me do it. I get why you made me do it. It's important that I did it because you have to start facing fears. This is a fearful experience when you're launching a business. And it always helps if someone nudges you to face your fears. And so that's why the certification requirements include so much work you do with family caregivers during the program. In addition, because you're doing it during the program, you're also receiving support for that work during the program. I have office hours every Friday afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, unless I'm traveling. One of our training program participants joined me every week during office hours. It was always fun, actually. And she joined for accountability and to keep going. So I'm going to tell you in just a minute how that inspired what accountability you will receive at no extra charge when you enroll on or before the February 24th. I also want to give you context around what 100 hours is like. It's like 6 semesters of college, 6 semesters with 15 hours of coursework. And you're going to complete it in just about 2.5 months. This is like getting your master's. I'm going to say it's like getting your master's. I don't want to say it is getting your master's. It's the equivalent of the next step when you think about where do I want to go with this knowledge base that I gained during my caregiving experience. It's this next level, which is like getting a master's degree because of your personal caregiving experience. The extra support is weekly study hall meetings. Each week for 9 weeks, we'll meet to discuss each module. The course includes 9 modules. We'll meet on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll record in case you can't join. In addition, because we are meeting as a cohort, you'll connect with others who are going through the coursework at the same time. It's helpful to stay on track with your certification requirements, and it's helpful to keep up with your assignments. It's a gentle accountability group. When you enroll on or before February 24th, you'll complete your first module in time to join the first study hall, which is Wednesday, March 6th. And then our last study hall will be on Wednesday, April 30th. A tool that we've added into the course is actually a spreadsheet that helps you map out how you're going to complete the course. And as part of that spreadsheet, you get insights into how much time each module will take. I think about taking a week for each module, and then I added in how much time per module, so you'll know. I have my interns from University of Illinois go through this training program every semester. They are like my beta testers. They help me find something that's not right or working right or needs some additional information. And I suggest they spend 16 hours a week on this coursework in order to complete it in about 2 months. So I give you how much time each module will take, plus this guidance around really thinking through what's the 16 hours you can devote each week to this course in order to complete it in about 2.5 months. And then you join us for study hall each week for 9 weeks to stay on track. That's in addition to my office hours. I still have office hours on Fridays at 3 p.m. Eastern Time that you're welcome to drop in and ask questions, talk out an issue or concern, a worry. And sometimes people will drop in to say, this is what I'm thinking about with my marketing. What do you think? This is what I'm thinking about as an opportunity. What do you think? And then after you become certified, we're going to host an event called Coaching for Caregivers. We've done this event a couple times with Certified Caregiving Consultants, and it's been successful. And I'd love to have you, newly certified, participate in this event as well. The feedback that we get from family caregivers who participate is great. They highly recommend this to other family caregivers. We all gather for a certain amount of time. Typically, we've been doing this on Saturday mornings for 3 hours. Family caregivers pick a slot to join. And then when they join our big Zoom room, I match the family caregiver and a certified caregiving consultant. And then you go into a private Zoom room and you have a coaching session. It's free. It's like delivering complimentary sessions. And it's helpful because you are part of a group doing it at the same time. Every consultant who's participated has suggested to their client that they keep in touch. And every time a client has said, yes, I want to keep in touch with you. It's a nice way to get out into the world with your work, with us, with support. So you don't feel like you're on my own. This is just a fun event to do as a group and to offer to family caregivers. Okay. You complete the 9 modules, and then you're ready for the live training, and the live training is on Saturday, May 3rd. You'll have additional assignments to complete. You'll have an oral exam to take. The goal would be for you to become a certified caregiving consultant by May 15th. People ask me this all the time. Can't I do this by myself? Don't I know enough because of my own personal experience to be able to go out, coach, and consult with family caregivers? You could. Here's what I've experienced. People have said to me, I'm going to do this myself. And then they always come back and enroll. And what they've lost is time. You don't want to waste time spinning your wheels wondering what to do and how to do it, because you'll learn that in the training. At the end of the training, you'll have programs and services ready to offer to your clients that I've tested, that I know work. One of the reasons we have a lot of organizations that don't make it in our caregiving space is because they don't understand the family caregiver experience. Now that sounds like, wait, what? How does that happen? But they don't study the family caregiving experience. I have studied it. really for 35 years. And I tell you what I've learned in the program. I think it's very difficult on your own to replicate 35 years of experience. So I've taken all of that and moved it into a program of 100 hours that I've created, knowing what you need in order to be successful as a consultant. It's also really helpful to demonstrate to your clients that you are committed to excellence and you're committed to excellence by really learning and understanding so that you're the best consultant for your clients. I talk about this story in the training. I had a colleague who thought about this training and she was like, nah, I'm not going to do it. And then she reached out to me and said, I'm having a terrible time. Can you just meet with me to tell me what I'm doing wrong? I said, okay. I went. So she started off with this premise that family caregivers don't want help and don't receive help. I said, tell me why you think that. And she said, well, I get all these complimentary sessions, and all they want to do when they join me is vent. All family caregivers want to do is vent. And then they don't take my advice, they don't do what I'm telling them to do, and they don't schedule a follow-up call with me. Okay, I shouldn't be so judgmental. And I just did a with but I was just astounded by this because she was offering complimentary sessions, which is help. Family caregivers said, yes, I need help. They scheduled time with her. They let her know what they needed, which is to vent. And she didn't meet their needs. So they didn't schedule a follow-up call. They needed to vent. If she had figured that out and thought, you know what, family caregivers are joining me to vent. I need to create a service and a program that helps them vent. Then she could have made an offer at the end of the complimentary session that said, you know, in my experience, family caregivers really benefit from the opportunity to vent. So I've created a program where we're going to get together every other week for 30 minutes and you vent and I listen. And we can do that for a certain number of sessions or for as long as you need. Let's start with 4 sessions. Here's the cost. How does that sound to you? That sounds marvelous. Sign me up. Oh, she didn't get it. She didn't get it. And her frustration that she wasn't booking business wasn't because family caregivers don't receive help and don't want help. It's because she didn't get it. She didn't get it. She didn't get it. You'll get it after you go through this course. You'll get it. You'll get it. We just went through a live training, or actually we're in the midst of a live training. There's one other option that sometimes our participants go through. And so now we're going through a 4-week live training, 2 hours every week. So you complete 9 modules and then you join me for 8 hours of live training. Now, if you enroll on or before the 24th, you also get another 9 hours of support from me. Anyway, so the consultants who are going through this 4-week live training experience are in some way making a similar mistake. I don't want to say mistake, but they're facing a similar challenge, which is when a family caregivers tell you what they need, meet the need. Just meet the need. Meet the need. So my colleague who said, I'm not going to take the consultant training, who then struggled and said, oh, I need your help, was meeting a need, but didn't get that. It wasn't that the family caregivers didn't get it, it was that she didn't get it. When a client shows you a need, meet the need. When a client tells you what they need, meet the need, meet the need. So we have 3 levels in our consultant training. There's the bronze, which is our certified caregiving consultant training, and that's it. There's our silver, which adds in 2 additional designations, our certified caregiving educator and our certified caregiving facilitator. You can lead support groups, you can deliver our workshops in the community, and you actually can become a trainer of some of our other programs. In addition, you receive help from our mentors who are what we call skills consultants. And so they're certified caregiving consultants who now support those going through the training program with help with the skills that we teach. So they're skills consultants. And the silver level includes help from our skills consultants, who are your mentors. The silver is really a bundled package. It's our certified caregiving consultant training, it's our certified caregiving educator, and our certified caregiving facilitator training, plus support from our mentors. And our gold level includes extra support from me to help write your book, to create a CEU approved workshop that you can deliver to social workers and nurses, and you become a master caregiving consultant. So you would achieve another level of excellence through additional requirements. You can join at any level and receive the additional 9 hours of support and participate in our Coaching for Caregivers program. I'm going to tell you pricing. So for the bronze level, the price is $2,500 or 3 payments of $867. Now think about how I talked about this program as the equivalent of 6 semesters in a university. And I think it would be very difficult to find a university that's going to give you 6 semesters totaling 100 hours of education support, resources, and training for $2,500. The other thing I'll tell you is I went through life coach training in 2004, 21 years ago, and I paid twice that for that training. I paid $5,000 for life coach training, and I pulled out of that training the only pieces that I used with family caregivers, and I teach you that in the Certified Caregiving Consultant training. Family caregivers are going through a very complex, complicated, stressful experience. They need simple, profound solutions. And that's what I figured out. And that's what I teach. If you want the silver level, which is the 3 designations plus support from the mentors, that's $3,750 or 3 payments of $1,284, $1,284. And then if you want to go for the gold, it's $6,250 or 3 payments of $2,117. All programs have been approved to offer CEUs. And I tell you that even if you aren't a nurse or a social worker, so you know that other organizations look at what I've created and say, it's worth these number of hours for nurses, for social workers, for certified senior advisors. This is hard work. I will not let you, I will not lead you down the road with rose-colored glasses. This is hard work. It's hard work to go through the training. I made it hard. You want to be prepared for this complex, complicated situation your clients are in the middle of. That's why the training is hard. And it is hard work to start a small business. We're fearful, we're worried, we have a lot of anxiety. And that's why it's so helpful to be a part of a community. As consultants, we meet every month. for regular meetings where we check in and update and share resources with each other. And then we have our own private group in our community, Caring Our Way, that we keep in touch with each other through. Okay. If you're thinking about this and you just need to talk it out with me, you can schedule time with me. I'll put the link to my calendar in the show notes so you can reach out and schedule time with me. And I so appreciate you thinking about this. It has to be the right time for you. It is an investment of your time and your money. I understand that. I understand that. And I want it to be the right fit for you at the right time. So I'm always happy to talk it out with anyone who's thinking about it, just not sure. Right time, right fit. Okay. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all you do. And I would love to see you in our Certified Caregiving Consultant training. And you receive all those extra bonuses when you enroll on or before February 24th. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.